We're back. It is that time again. It is that every other Monday where we are.
Yay! It is that time.
RetroRoots.
I feel like we
What
have
we
a
need
theme
to
song
do,
and a making.
we need a theme song, but it needs to be an 8-bit chip tune.
Somebody else is gonna have to work on that. I have absolutely no
You know
musical
what?
talent.
I kind of
You
know
know
the guy,
Terrible
but
8-bit.
You know what? I'm on it. I'm
All
on
right.
it.
yeah, you do musical kind of stuff. don't
I
you?
Yes,
am a
yes,
music
Mike
now.
does do
This
music.
might be my first foray into actually writing music. I typically am just a cover band guy, but I am a keyboard player. I will take a shot at it.
What bands do you cover?
So I have a group called Days of Vinyl, and as you can probably guess, it's everything from the 40s to today.
Okay.
Jan is already complaining that I'm way too happy.
All right, so real quick. Hi, Carla. Glad you're first.
I think
Scepter,
Carla's
what's up?
still here.
Carla.
Carla's always here.
Dorkside's here.
Dork. What's up, Dork?
Dorkside, what's up? Jane.
I'm gonna put Carla up here.
I'm eating
HTK
popcorn,
popped in
Jan.
for a little bit.
Peter!
Scepter Sever was here for a little bit. I don't know if some of these people still
Everyone
here,
was, a lot
or
of
if
people
they're
were here
popping back
early.
in,
That's
or
kinda cool.
what. I don't know. They
Yeah,
were
we
here
don't
very
stop
early.
it,
I came in like 15 minutes early to set up banners and stuff, and like people were already making comments.
I'm eating popcorn, Jan.
Usually Zombie is here pretty early too.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't seen Zombie yet tonight.
Well, he was asking about it earlier. He was like, met up with him.
Oh, there's Scepter. Oh, there's CM Retro.
Hey, CM.
Hey, what's up, CM Retro?
Mason was streaming earlier. No, it's popcorn.
Yeah, I might be checking out on Mason.
It is, dude. 100 calories for 3 cups. This is awesome popcorn.
If you're calorie
at some point I may have. Well, I can't do Geeks with Geeks with Rage because it's already a channel.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, it's Geeks of Rage, but I can't do that. It's too close to his channel, and he's a good guy.
No, you popcorn is a great weight loss snack.
Yeah, it's actually a negative calorie food if you don't drown it in butter and salt and nacho cheese.
Then it's like, if you're not putting all kinds of salt and butter on it, why are you eating popcorn?
It's more like packing peanuts at that point.
A good salt and butter transporting device to your mouth.
All right, so
yes, absolutely.
This is olive oil and Himalayan sea salt. It's made by Wegmans, and it's unbelievable. And it's 33 calories per 1 cup, so I can eat a ton of it.
No, that works. So we are going to do our usual thing,
Nick. But I'm also wearing.
Are you?
That's
awesome.
Well, honestly, I was like CM Retro shirt or Ninja Turtle shirt. It was like, well, Ninja Turtles.
I went with a DJC shirt today.
Okay,
because that's one of the. I gotta get shirts for like everybody's channels, and I haven't done that yet. I particularly want the Super.
When are you getting?
I really need that shirt.
When are you creating merch?
I'm not creating merch. My merch is available nowhere, and it exists only in ether as a figment of somebody else's imagination, not mine.
I'm telling you know what? I'm gonna get Jay to sneak a Canada shirt for me. All we need to do is take your my
logo would go on a shirt easily.
It would,
or a coffee mug.
Mm-hmm.
Or a coffee mug. I need a Geeks with Cash shirt. I mean, I've got all the other Gamers United shirts on it.
I feel like nobody needs a Geeks with Cash shirt. That's just my opinion.
If you talk to Jay about it, he hit the shirts that he has for GUG has whatever
is it graphic
on the front. Yeah,
okay.
He has whatever it is on the front, and the Gamers United Guild logo on the back. So
somebody's making a suggestion of wasabi peas.
I love those. Peas. I love wasabi peas. Mm-hmm. I also love.
Once an Angry Nick shirt. I would have to get that cartoon animated, maybe fire coming out of my head or something like that.
I would buy that in a heartbeat. I'd buy that in a heartbeat. No.
If I really wanted to get up on it, I'd have a nice color changing mug that was me and all calm and happy, and then when you put coffee in it, it would be Angry Nick.
Oh yes. See, look,
flames everywhere.
Oh my goodness! Yes, when you put hot
anger over 9,000 or something stupid like that.
Dude, that's it, and you will make a mint. I will be your first customer.
I mentioned that to Zach Crystal because she has like 2 different mugs. One which has like one logo and it's white and one that's black and it has like a different logo on it. I'm like, can you just do a color change thing on this? Because that would be great. because then you can have both of them. It would be like one when it's cooled off and one when it's the other. Anyway, how was everybody's weekend? Mike, how'd you do? How's your weekend?
Well, I'll tell you what I didn't do.
I knew what you didn't do. Confess!
I know what you didn't do.
Confess!
I completely
Listen to the
100%.
judgment from Nick over here, though.
No,
I know. You know what? I can do
am-
that this time. I was the failure last time.
I have earned this failure. I am owning this failure. I was supposed to play Metroid Other M, and I failed. I failed hard. So
And
what
see,
did I
the
do?
thing is that I was not nagging exactly, but I was dropping little hints at Nick. So, Nick, so what game are you playing lately? You been ticking in on any other games lately? And just dropping not so subtle hits. I was like, well, I don't have to worry about Mike. I'm not going to nag on him. He's the responsible one of the trio. So, but,
Hold on one second.
you go right on.
I did my homework.
Oh, what's up, Dad? What's up, John? No, you go right on quoting regulations, Lieutenant Savick.
Hey, Zombie, how's it going?
Zombie.
Oh.
Yes, Patrick, they make.
You know
they
what?
make
Cedric,
Zombie almonds.
honestly, funny story. I went to boot everything up, get everything configured, and I tried this about 3 weeks ago. And I got the Wii U up, everything like that, remembered how to get into the Wii U menu and all that stuff, and I'm like, huh. Where's my copy of Other M? Oh crap! So I spent like days looking for this thing, and ended up having to buy a brand, and ended up having to buy a new copy that was $40. And I thought, God, I just spent $40 on a used copy of Other M. I don't know what that says about me. If that makes me a good Metroid fan or a bad Metroid fan. And then I got it, and it was completely sealed, so I felt less bad.
And now I feel more bad.
so Zombie, and hey, Heavy Waves too.
Yeah, Heavyweights is here. Awesome.
Oh,
Dude, we got the crowd coming in tonight. This is awesome.
I told Scepter Server. He says his copy of Other M is still sealed. I said him and I can share it. We can share in our shame. So
there is still time for you guys to participate in this discussion more. If you have not played through Other M, or if you've played through it and you want to play through it again, you can definitely burn through that game in like 8 hours or less. I know I did it. My completion rate was not good. It was bad. It was like 30% bad. But I was more interested in seeing all the content this time than I was getting all the collectibles. So it's still open.
Yeah, I can't remember how long it
All
actually took me. I want to say like a couple nights.
It's not a super long game. Even to get everything, I think the estimate was like 12 hours or something like that. It's not a very it's like a normal Metroid game, right?
Yeah, there's not very long games, period, for as
Yeah.
Okay. I am making a swear. Okay, and since this is RetroRoots and we talk retro games, I swear on my Evercast Online Adventures Frontiers Genuine Compass, which actually does work.
Don't
that
make
I got
promises
from,
you can't keep, sir.
That I got from Sony. I promise on my compass that by our next RetroRoots, hear me, oh family. I promise I will have played Metroid Other M by our next show. I promise.
He lies.
Who said that?
I believe it. I saw that he had a very earnest gleam in his eye and all that stuff. So
I swear.
I have no reason to doubt you, Mike.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you.
I'm optimistic.
Rob,
I see.
What'd you do this weekend?
You have got the Jewish guilt down, Nick. I'm proud of you.
You know what? Honestly, from where I came from, it's not Jewish guilt. We just call it like Southern guilt. It's like Southern parental guilt. It's basically the same thing. It's just got a different term.
I was gonna say, it's a thing. Tell the truth.
Let me speak to him.
God. Oh man, hold on. Now that cousin Mike has finally painted his walls, he stands out more on cam. And I do, but I don't know if that's a good thing yet. I don't know if that's a good thing yet. I do need some stuff though. I need like.
You almost need to adjust your lighting a little bit because it's so dark. It's actually soaking in a little bit of the light.
Well,
so you almost need to adjust your lighting just a little bit. Oh, that works.
Yeah, I forgot.
That works. It works good.
So I have. So you guys have a pool table. Over the pool table, I have pool table lights. They provide just enough light to. Let's not forget the very first. Yes. Yes, you did, John.
Born
and somehow I kept coming back. Born. Yeah, so cousin Born. So
that's a perfect gift for Born. Just this cat getting up with this big yawn, like what?
Right.
Need a painting of CM Retro in that room. That would set things off nicely.
Could go right next to my
just a big poster. CM Retro logo, like right there on that wall.
I need to get a CM Retro. I did not realize you had merch, man. I need to get some merch.
Yeah, so. I got to get merch for everybody. CM Retro's high on my list to get merch from. Your channel. If MrMatthews
there you go. Mike needs an angry Nick poster on his wall.
That's right.
So, Brother Lance.
Have an alert guy. I don't think so.
No, okay.
There must be. I missed this joke.
Yeah, I think there's an inside
Do you
joke.
not? Well, you wouldn't know this, Rob. But Rob, do you, Nick? Do you not remember when I streamed 13 on the Xbox? The original 13 on OG Xbox. Okay,
no,
so
I think I missed that.
So yeah, so Lance did not, and there were parts of that game where all you had was a guy like running around trying to. It's a first-person shooter, but you had guys that ran around that instead of like setting off an alarm, they would literally stand there and yell, "Alert! Alert! Alert! Alert!" to you. And like it was just
I might vaguely remember this now.
It just kept going. It was the funniest thing. So that's a nice inside joke for like Lance and those guys who watch that stream.
That's awesome. So, Rob, what'd you do this weekend?
What did I do this weekend?
I don't know. That's why I asked.
I think I worked on a video.
Is this the X8 thing? Are you still working on that?
It's one of these stupid things where it's like I turn to George Lucas when I'm editing, and it's like,
dude, I'll be honest.
Never enough. There's never enough. I need to pump it in here.
Is amazing, man. Your editing, your cuts, and everything like that. I can't get them as clean as that. I wish I could. They're really good. So I mean, the end product's fantastic. It just takes you a while. I mean, it's not Panda Sub, but it takes you a while.
So that's what I was doing. And then, towards the end of the weekend, somehow I got on this wild hair of submitting runs to speedrunner.com. I don't know. I don't know, Chris. Probably never. Maybe there might be a coffee mug someday. Who knows? Or a guinea pig plush.
Actually, I think like your logo would translate onto a shirt almost better than most of our logos, to be quite fair.
Or a tie pin. I can do that. Anyway, so I spent most of Sunday digging through all the gameplay that I've recorded in the past like 3 or 4 years, trying to find something that I could just kind of throw up on. So now I'm happy to say, proud to say, that of all 18 people in the entire world who thought to submit a run of Ghosts and Goblins NES, I'm number 17. So, and I am. It's
top five. Like, nope, 17.
I am a recognized speedrunner now.
Hey, you beat somebody, and you beat somebody, dude.
Run on speedrunner.com, and I'm not last.
Sweet.
So.
Hey, you beat somebody, man. That's all that matters. One, you got a score up there, so it counts.
Yeah, I think it's like most of the people are the ones that tried, and then you had like those little group of underachievers at the very bottom, and I'm in that group, but I'm not last in that group. That's the main thing. So
see, Sector's behind you too. That's dope. Well, my weekend was I was writing something up because I was working on another collection for the Evercade stuff. Those kind of take a while because I've got to play at least 40 minutes to an hour of each game to kind of get a feel for it. between here and there. And then even when I was writing it up, I'd boot them up to play again or see if what I wrote up was what my memory served. And then finish writing some stuff up on it. The first one, I just kind of winged it. And it seemed to go over pretty well. It brought in a decent number of new people to the channel, at least looking at that one video. So I thought, you know what? I'm having some fun with this. I'll go ahead and do like the Data East collection next. So I was working on that, getting that ready. I wanted to do some recording for the next game mechanic because I got most of that written up. I need to look it over again and see if I've got everything in there or if I need to add some stuff. And then I got wrapped up in trying to complete my homework assignment of Other M, because I thought I was a lot further along than I was. And then that game, like literally, I spent 3 or 4 hours on it one day, and it said it clocked 2 hours, but I know it was longer than that. And then I spent more time on it this weekend on like Saturday, and that was like another 3 hours. And then I think I spent like 6 on Sunday finishing that thing, or at least it felt like 6. I don't know what the end time was. I think it clocked right around 8 or 9 hours to completion, and only like a 30% item completion rate, which is probably why the last boss was harder than he needed to be, because I didn't have a lot of the stuff. But I at least got it done. That was like my main goal this weekend, was to do that and to maybe get something on that Evercade. I wanted to get practicing on Earthworm Jim. I really needed to get Other M completed, so I spent my time on that instead. So I don't know if I'm going to have time to do Earthworm Jim this week. It doesn't really break my heart any, but I know people are probably annoyed I haven't done an update. So, you know.
Born to answer your question, I think it's like 8 minutes, something stupid, for one loop.
How in the hell
for one loop? I'm like, holy crap, 2 loops in 8 minutes?
Yeah, that's for one loop. And
you just jump over everybody.
Weeds too much on this. There's a lot of like skips and stuff that are really hard to pull off, and that's how these like I just put a link into it. Right?
Sounds
you did.
I need to watch one of these because that just sounds not right.
It's so I don't know if you're pulling up on. You don't have to if you don't want to.
I am pulling it up.
So right here, like in the bottom, like 5-6 people. These are the guys that kind of just played through the game, like playing through the game, and everyone on top was using just a really difficult. I watched some of the runs, really hard to pull off, not safe, kind of YOLO strats. That obviously you're streaming on Twitch for 12 hours a day. You might as well try it and then get good at it. So
that's fair.
And honestly, then you get your name on top of this list. And it's there until someone breaks your record. So I guess it's worth it. However, I was just happy to get get my name on.
Just get your name on there at all. I agree.
Well, I mean,
I guarantee it would take me more than 14 minutes to do a loop of that game. Like
this is the complete
hours.
list. This is a complete list. So it's not like I cracked the top 20. Literally, there are 18 people that submitted a run. I was 17th in line. So
probably because
so it's not
people
like
just don't want to play this game. Like, I feel like most people just don't want to play that game, dude.
That's probably
well.
It's like the SNES version and the Genesis version are great. They're crazy hard, but they're really good games. And the NES game isn't terrible, but it's not nearly as good as those others are.
No, but it's the difference between an 8-bit and a 16-bit version of the game.
It's not even that. There's some 8-bit games that are amazing, dude. This one's just not as as polished as some of the others. But it is a very early one too.
I did not like it for the longest time, but there's something almost charming and endearing in how janky it is. I submitted the run this morning, so they probably figured, oh, this guy's, he's not going for the top time or anything.
Speed run the Mega Man X series. No.
Heavy Waves is asking about the Sega Master System version.
I would love to have that version. I watched Alpha Nerd play through that.
I didn't even know there was a version of that on there. I knew there was a Famicom, which is supposedly even harder, and then the NES version.
Yeah, one of the few that, and I think it was because I'm just looking it up. It was actually Ghouls and Ghosts that was out on the Master System.
Yeah, so it was the Master System companion to Genesis Ghouls and Ghosts, and I believe it also has a life bar, kind of like you get more than just.
Do you get more than 2 hits?
I could be talking out of turn, but I think you actually get more than just your 2 hits. I think there's like a couple hearts you get before you.
Yeah, it looks like you
into
have
a
2
skeleton.
hearts on the right. Wow, this looks impressive.
It looks pretty good.
Yeah, it does. Wow.
Yeah, all the best Master System games are also priced a little higher than I'm willing to pay for them too.
Well, that's part of the.
Well, and the
that's part of
problem,
issue.
the problem with a lot of Master System, at least in my mind, is sometimes it feels like the controls just not there. Like it feels a little glidey or a little strange.
Yeah, I hate to say it because I really do like the idea of liking the Master System. I think it's a cool looking system. I haven't loved a lot of the games that I played on it, other than Fantasy Zone. Like this is a really good look. This is so much
That looks
better looking
really
than-
good. That looks very close
However-
to 16-bit.
I know.
For me, it doesn't really matter how good it looks when the screen. And this is kind of an exaggerated display of how strobing Master System games are, but the Master System does not
What's
scroll
up,
as
Sandwich?
smoothly as
Sandwich.
the NES. So I'd rather play a game that runs as smoothly as Mega Man or Mario than
Yeah, because they
Been
really
kind of a
tried to push this
strobing-
thing like crazy, and you can tell because looking at it now, yeah, the animation's a little off.
Yeah, there's also a little bit of delay in your stream. You're streaming a stream and it's through StreamYard. So I mean, there's a
Yeah.
little bit of.
yeah.
That
is
looks
unfortunately
good,
kind of
though.
typical
It does,
of-
but I mean, no. Now look. Obviously, they made concessions. There's no background. There's literally no background. It's like a
Mhm.
tree. So they had to do some things.
Well, yeah, I mean, but they put their money in some of the spots, though. I mean, heck, even this city looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not Genesis level quality or anything, but I mean, that looks pretty good.
Basically, this does exactly what it needs to do, which is make a really good screenshot for the back of the box, because people aren't going to be
Yeah.
watching gameplay videos back in 1988 or 89 when it comes
Right.
out.
Right.
So
Hey, Paste. No, the stream is it's showing a stream through StreamYard onto a stream. It's actually not that choppy.
It's a little slow when I'm looking at it on YouTube, a little bit, but not terrible. I've seen worse.
by the way,
I
what's
mean,
that
I've-
21 sandwich? I saw you earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's
just,
as far as I can go in this game. Yeah, I think I made
not
it
as
past.
smooth.
I think I made it to like the fire demon dog in this one. I was much better on the Super Nintendo version. I could get to, I want to say, stage 3 or 4. I've never really given that game a good hard push. Jaw-dropping graphics. Jeez.
Chris opened himself up to this one.
It's really
hold on.
impressive for an AV
Yeah.
machine.
Hold on. Bring up Chris's.
But this?
Yeah. You're right. It's not. It's better.
Well, it just depends on what you want.
But it runs
it's-
like poop.
That's kind of what
It's the
it
blast
doesn't matter how good it
processing
looks.
process. We can give you all the colors so long as you don't want anything else functioning during that time period.
Okay, that was the Genesis, sir.
I know.
Master System
know.
didn't need it.
The Master System probably needed it.
Yeah, so there's a lot that I just really love about the way Master System games look, and I think the system is just so fun looking. It's I can't shit on it like Nick does for the Genesis.
The Genesis has started to earn my ire, dude.
Started to.
The part of the the part of the catalog I've been playing is just earning my ire lately.
Like
And-
what?
yeah. Are you high? Revenge of Shinobi is hellishly evil towards the very end. Earthworm Jim is just trash. That game is trash.
To be fair, that's not a
yeah.
Genesis game. That's kind of a.
It's a
it's on the Super
multi-plat.
Nintendo also.
Yeah.
Started on the Genesis and was only on the Genesis for about a year before it came to the Super Nintendo.
I think I'm just saying that maybe it's not fair to judge the entire Systems library off of.
Right.
I mean, I like Sonic
yeah.
1. I like Sonic 2. I haven't messed with Sonic 3 very much.
Sonic 3 is not very good, and that's why.
Oh.
Well,
get
Sonic
some
3
ire
had
from
that.
the chat.
Well, hold on. Sonic 3 had that lock-on cart technology.
Yeah, they made it Sonic and Knuckles.
Right.
I'm losing track of some of the chat here. Hold on.
Heavy Waves.
Straight
says
to
you're
camera. Are
wrong.
you high?
Earthworm Jim is not that bad, says Heavy Waves. And the NES did not have 3D glasses, and those 3D glasses on the Master System work.
Dude, Heavy Waves, man. I've been struggling through it, and I'm on I'm very late in the game, and it is that bad. The problem I have with it is I don't find any of the stages particularly fun. Pretty, not fun. Like, just not fun.
It's a fun game to look at and to listen to.
Yeah.
Hey,
What's up,
man,
Mozzie?
There's Mason. Speaking of not good games, he was streaming Spawn tonight for SNES.
I know. I just
I don't
picking
blame.
a little bit.
I don't blame him for trying.
I've had this conversation.
Okay, Tommy. You can't change the game now.
Doesn't mean I can't call shenanigans and bullshit.
Very true. There you go. Thank you, Paste.
I don't expect him to
Bring
fix
it.
it.
Thank you, Paste.
So we actually have some topics tonight.
Do we?
We do.
Nick, all right. So Nick saved my ass.
We have like topics.
Nick was like,
I don't know.
all right,
Wait a minute. Should I go back and like let you get in trouble?
I will come to Mike's rescue for not playing Other M and pissing off the whole rest of the show by coming up with some topics. So thank you, Nick. I
feel like I should let you get in trouble now. How is he about to get himself in trouble? I feel like this is something that needs to happen. Hold on. Go ahead. Get yourself in trouble. Go ahead. It's fine. We'll wait.
I didn't play Other M. I didn't do it. I'm sorry. I did. Hold on. I'm even shaking the camera. I didn't mean to do it. Oh my god.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So we had hypothetical topic number 1, and then we had another topic here. So we thought this would be a fun discussion topic for everybody. If you could take one console with you on a road trip, could be any console, any point, doesn't matter. It'll connect to whatever you want it to. Which would you take, and why?
Who wants to go first?
Mike.
Well, I actually have taken consoles on road trips. I've taken my Xbox 360 with me on road trips. That's the one.
That's a solid
console.
console.
In fact, I use it now. I actually use it now for some of my band lighting. But I had a backpack. It was one of the
no, it does not.
One of the review things I had for my NL Gaming website. Somebody sent me a backpack that you actually can pack the entire Xbox 360 in, and inside was a sleeve that held the 360, had pockets for 2 controllers, and then had CD sleeves that you.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and then in the front zipper pockets is where you would put the giant ass control brick and your other cable. So that's the one that I used to take with me because it didn't need internet. That's the one. Now, nowadays I have this in my Razer Kishi, so I kind of do take consoles with me on road trips.
Yep.
So,
Robert,
I know you said console, my first thought was the Nintendo 3DS because the Nintendo DS is one of my favorite libraries of all time, and there are some pretty good games on 3DS. So why not take the 3DS? So I have access to the full DS library and the 3DS library too. You got all the Castlevania games on the DS, Advance Wars games, some pretty good Fire Emblem.
Mostly because we argue well.
And that's honestly what the point of the Metroid M thing was going to be, is for me to argue with Nick, because I've been thinking about this, is that Nick, you and I actually have very similar taste in franchises, but when it comes down to the very specific details of what games within those franchises we like, we don't agree. And so it makes for fun banter, I think.
See, I feel like I'm going to agree with you and disagree with you on this one. So I'm looking forward to the discussion because there's going to be parts where I'm going to agree with you. There's going to be parts where I don't agree with you on it. Mm-hmm. And I know the parts we're really going to disagree with on are going to be story. Because I still kind of like the story, and I know you hate it. I can tell. I can feel it.
Spoiler! Stay tuned!
And Mike's hiding in a corner now.
He's barricading himself behind the door.
Yeah.
Long, deep sigh.
It's going to be a fun topic whenever we get to it, man.
No, we are getting to it. We are getting to see this on my compass. We are getting to it next show.
Well, here's the thing. I like the idea of doing the game. We may not do it every month.
Metroid games.
Maybe we give more time on it, but we just need to make sure to keep each other honest on it so that we know we're making progress on whatever game it is, right? Yeah. And that's really all we need to do because it doesn't matter when we do it, just so long as we're kind of like in lockstep to doing it. I don't know. Maybe it's just one of those things we put like maybe I'll get us on Gilded. I found a new like Discord type app that'll like let you set like calendars and stuff like that, where you can check calendars and do all that fun jazz. So maybe that'll be a thing. I don't know. We'll find out. Anyway,
you can get one that pings people. Mike, play at Metroid Other M. Mike, play Metroid Other M. Mike, damn it, Mike, play Metroid Other M.
So I'm gonna mention a couple consoles, but I'm gonna cheat a little bit. I would take this.
Okay.
This is my Pi Boy DMG. This will play NES, also. Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Genesis, PlayStation 1, Dreamcast. Play all of them. Also connect to a regular TV, and I can plug in controllers, and so I can play it on a TV, but I could also play it as a handheld if I don't want to connect it to a TV.
Okay. I didn't know about that. You had my curiosity.
I didn't say you couldn't do emulators. I didn't say that.
I know.
I think I said it when we talked about it before. You could.
No, I said my phone with RetroRoots and my Rizukishi. What I'm saying is, you have something that I was curious about before, and now you have my attention.
This has a Pi 4 in it.
How much was that?
This full kit with the LCD screen and a Pi 4 with the level I went, I think was just under $200. And it came with RetroArch loaded on it, and you just load games.
Can you update RetroArch?
Yes.
And it has a connection. It has an HDMI connection to the TV. Is that HDMI mini? That is HDMI. That is USB to HDMI.
It's full HDMI. There's full.
Really?
There's actually an HDMI on here, right there.
Okay, that's mini HDMI. So I'd need a mini HDMI to full HDMI cable, and you can connect USB controllers.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Hey,
guys
on the show.
I just like this thing.
I might have to look at that again now.
Scribbles is here, but honestly, if it wasn't that, the one that I would probably bring. The 3DS is a good option. The 360 is also a good option because of the backwards compatibility, but I might go with the Wii U because I can play Wii and Wii U games, which would be neat in that kind of setting because you could just kind of sit there and play, which I think would be kind of fun on a road trip. It might be a little awkward, though, because of all the bouncing around on a road trip.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming you're in like an RV and you're fairly comfortable, right?
Yeah.
A future RetroRoots will be an interesting subject that I have argued with people about. Is a handheld really a console?
That's why I said I know you guys said console. It's like what is your
the Switch is also a very good option, and the PS Vita is also a good option.
Hey, Doug's, what's up, man?
Hi, Doug.
So, Hasselhoff.
So the real topic is emulation. No, it is not. I just cheated because that gives me access to a ton of consoles, and it's very portable. So yeah,
I feel like that's the spirit of the question is what console
Yeah, that's why I
And what
said
library are you attached to? I like
Yeah,
the idea of the. I think a good way to cheat is with the backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
It's a shame that the PS4 wouldn't go back further. That'd be a good one to take. So
I mean, if I really wanted to go with it on that route of like what one like console, maybe the Switch. And I say that because it does similar things. Like if you can connect to Wi-Fi anywhere, you can play Genesis games now. You can play NES, Super NES, all the
That's
Switch
fair.
library. All those are options, right, on that console. So I get, and there's a lot of Neo Geo games for sale in the store, and other games like that. So I have access to a lot of libraries, depending on what I want to buy and load up on it. So if you want a more legitimate console option, that's probably a solid one for me to go. And the Switch is another one of those that's you can play it in handheld mode, which I personally don't like doing all that much, but it's an option that I use sometimes. And then you can put it in the dock, and you can play it like a regular console. So it fits well in both scenarios. Like if you want to take it out and
I would like
plug it
to.
in.
I would. All right, we're gonna have to have this conversation. When we flesh out, because I'm gonna stand on the hill of my opinion on whether a handheld's a console, but I don't want to do it tonight.
Well, the Switch kind of acts as
The Switch is a handheld that docks.
most people call that like a full-on console, though, because that's Nintendo's full-on console at this point. It plays any of their big boy games that they wanted to.
That is correct.
So that one hits a gray area, right?
Yeah. So
I mean, the 3DS is clearly handheld. The DS is clearly handheld. So is the Vita.
I mean, a laptop is not a desktop because you put it on a docking station. But again, let's go to another. I want to flesh that one out when we've got
Yes,
more
5
time.
watch. It's a PlayStation 5 duct tape to my Casio wristwatch.
I wonder if Panda has a Pit Boy from Fallout.
Tiger wristwatch, go! And the Switch is a hybrid console. I don't think I've seen Deku Man here before. Hi, by the way.
Welcome,
good to see
Deku
you.
Man. I like his avatar. I like his
SNES Junior, and then you can play Game Boy. NES, actually, even the one that you front load and the top loader, I think both of those are fairly portable in my opinion.
Yeah, because they're pretty small. But the top loader is less prone to the front loader breaking while you're traveling.
I mean, if you just want a crap ton of games on very few carts, you could always go with like the Evercade Versus or whatever. Yeah. But again, that borders on emulation, and do we want emulated consoles in this, right?
Oh,
I probably should have asked that before we did the topic, but I wasn't putting limitations on it. I was just like, go.
Now, I guess if the handheld systems are going to be taken off the table, then I would say probably the Wii. So I would have the GameCube library also. I mean, you don't have any objection to the backwards compatibility, I hope so.
No, because that's hardware backward compatibility, isn't it?
Yeah. So is the Wii U being backwards compatible with the Wii.
Yeah, that judges will allow.
Yeah.
I would say Wii U because it looks better than the Wii, but it doesn't play GameCube. And
yeah, you want the GameCube backward compatibility. So. Yeah.
That's a good point. I did not consider that.
Paste, if you want more information on this one, I actually have a video.
You did a really good video
on my channel.
Yeah, you should link that video to the drop it.
Yeah, I'll just drop that link in there so you guys can watch it at your leisure, because that one's been up there for a while. It did pretty well, and people seem to really like it. But yeah, it'll do N64, it'll do Dreamcast, it'll do PlayStation 1. I haven't tried Saturn because I have problems emulating Saturn anyway. And I have not tried PlayStation 2. I don't think it'll do PlayStation 2 well, quite frankly.
Isn't the Saturn kind of notoriously finicky anyway?
It is a pain in the butt to emulate. It's why it's one of those systems that I would both love to have and I can't afford to have.
That's part of the reason why it's collectible.
It's kind of like the TurboGrafx, like some of the CD games are a pain in the butt to emulate. So I wouldn't mind having like the Analog Duo at one point or another.
But the Poly Mega, I think, would probably be your best. Although I will say that the emulation for Saturn in RetroArch currently on this particular machine that I use, which is also my streaming, my podcast streaming machine, actually does work fairly flawlessly. So
An apple Pippin. So you can
So I got a
kill somebody
question
with a
that,
controller because it's a
Scramble
boomerang.
was kind of asking about, sort of, I think. What if you took a system like a Retron 5? Would that count?
that's why, yeah, I said that earlier. As long as it's a, because that isn't a Retron 5 sort of kind of FPGA ish.
No, I think it's using like it's straight up ripping the games and running. They got lambasted for they stole the emulators.
Oh, okay. If it's emulated, I don't think so.
It's emulated. Like
well, the
you can do like
Polymega works the same way, doesn't it?
Yeah, I know. The
I mean, it
Polymega was
emulates,
supposed
right?
to be. It does now. It was supposed to FPGA, and then they went to emulation.
Paste. What is
Retron
the emulator they got torn apart once people actually saw what the emulators were? Because they didn't give any credit. I don't think they just used those emulators and didn't.
I thought Polymega was borderline doing that too. Didn't they get in some trouble for that at one point?
Remember Carl talking about that, but
yeah, Polymega is pure software emulation. I wouldn't mind having something like a Mister or building one up at one point just to see the difference of an FPGA style system versus what I use, and see if I really noticed the difference that much. Hey, Hassel.
I had this crazy feeling that unless you're like a diehard tech nerd, like your average person probably won't really tell the difference. Like, I don't know if I could tell the difference between well, I can just because it's emulated very badly on a lot of things. I think for most, especially like those established emulators, like for NES, Super Nintendo, Genesis, there were like the bugs been worked out.
Right.
I don't know if your average blow like me would be able to notice the difference between like an actual game and emulation. Then I say that, and every version of Sonic the Hedgehog that I've played, other than the cartridge version, it stands out like a sore thumb. So maybe I'm wrong. I think
it depends on how familiar you are with the game on the original hardware, on how much you'll notice. You know what I mean?
Like this right here. I bought this just because I'm a Mega Man nut, and I have to have something like this. This is an awful.
That's actually
version of
really
Mega Man
cool.
2.
Yeah, but it's a really cool like display piece.
I took it out just so I can kind of hold it in my hand, and I think I even plugged it in once. It's also a miserable way to play Mega Man 2.
Yeah, just by the look of it from inside the box, it doesn't look like I would have fun playing Mega Man that way. Oh my god!
It stuck, so I can't even. Yeah, there we go. Like you're supposed to play it like that. That's ridiculous.
That sounds that looks awful. No,
like I can't imagine actually doing well with the game at all.
No.
Anyway, I could tell
cool
the
display
difference
piece
between this version of Mega Man 2 and the real one. So
okay, so Scepter has that too. So he has the same thing.
Yeah. Well, you see it at Target or Walmart, and you're like, "Oh, well, I gotta have that."
Yeah, that's where I see a lot of these things. Is right there. And I don't have this Retron 5. I'm curious to like maybe pick one up at one point and try it. Because the downside to these is when I booted these up, I have one of these that runs great. I have one of these that started to have issues. And I think it did something to the firmware on the other. I might have to like just reflash it or something. I don't know. I've had a few minor issues with them. But the one that I built for myself runs fantastic. It booted right up. It works. It connects to the TV great. It's even got a LAN connection. It's got a lot of good stuff to it. Anyway, since we were going on to the Retron 5, so yeah, NES, Genesis, and Super NES, we use the trio for some of my stuff. The Game Jimmy won't work with the NES with the blinking light. I'm a little vague on that. It was designed by Dr. Wiley himself.
All right, so I'm gonna say this: if you have a machine that has emulation, but it is not an all-purpose general emulator. So a Pi, I will put my phone in. No, those wouldn't count as a console.
Okay.
All right, but if you're I'm gonna say the Polymega and the Retron I would give a pass to for one reason. They are not necessarily all purpose. Like I can't take a PlayStation 2 game and play it in the Polymega. I can't take, I need specific modules to play the cartridge games, right? I need the CD player to play the CDs. Like it physically has to have the CD medium to load on there, right? I would consider that in a like the Retron, right? Where you have to have the cart to play the game. I would consider that an acceptable console to take on a road trip.
But where does that come in when you have those like Everplay carts? You can just load ROMs. Because you can do those with the NES, you can do them on the Super Nintendo. Yeah. They have them on the Genesis. They have
you could do that. I mean,
for it now.
Technically, you could do that with the NES Mini. I mean, you can. It doesn't. I get what you're saying. But the other thing, and with the NES, and I know with the NES and SNES Mini and stuff like that, you can put all-purpose emulators on it. I know.
Yeah. I'm not talking about the minis. I mean, that's basically a pie in a shell with ROMs on it. And
right, but it was built for a specific. They were built for a specific licensed purpose.
Yes, they were absolutely.
Like if Rob said I'd take a SNES Mini with me, I would totally accept that.
What if I said that I've broken the SNS Mini, so now it actually can play TurboGrafx 16, Genesis, NES?
I mean,
now we're breaking Mike a little.
Yeah, no, it's there's that gray area.
Because my understanding is they're not that hard to break that way, and a lot of people.
Well, not anymore. It was a process at the beginning, but I think people have figured it out. I mean, quite technically, I can soft mod. I soft modded my original Xbox. Does that no longer make it a console? I mean, so.
Or you could do it with your the Series
my Xbox
X,
One.
I think does
right,
it too.
you make it
right.
My Xbox
But in developer
One
mode, you can load RetroRoots.
Yeah, so
I have a soft modded Wii also. So
yes, I think
everything.
I think if you.
So where do we draw that line? Because it gets kind of vague. Because you can break most consoles now.
Yeah, I'm going to go with original intent.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're gonna stick with original consoles to play the carts or discs that were installed in them, not any modifications at all. If it happens to have it as a service, that's fine, but that's not. That's not the main intent.
So I would say your Pi, right? My phone are all purpose. They weren't built with a specific set of games in mind, right? A Retron 5 was built to play a certain type of cart. Or carts, because I think doesn't the 5 have, and correct me if I'm wrong, Pace, doesn't the 5 have like a Genesis and a SNES cart slot?
I think it's got multiple cart slots if it's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
But we're assuming if you pick it, I'm just gonna go on record saying space isn't an issue and you could have the games, right?
Okay.
Which makes no sense in the RV scenario, but
the other thing
for the sake of argument, if you had access to the entire library, you could have it.
Yeah,
and you just take the one console.
I would also give a pass to the Evercade Versus.
Okay.
Because
I was avoiding that because that's emulation. It's curated emulation, but it's still emulation.
It's curated. You're buying you can't just, to my knowledge, I'm sure someone will figure it out, but right as it stands, you can't just put an all-purpose emulator on an Evercade Versus. You have to have the official carts you buy from Evercade, which is licensed. So in that case, I would allow that as a console.
Okay, so if we're going with just library that you think you would play the most, the one I find that I play the most right now is probably the NES.
Ooh, that's a good one. Dreamcast. Now that you say it, Dreamcast.
Yeah, Dreamcast is another really
how did I not? I am an absolute loser tonight. I swear to goodness. How did I have not played other M, and I totally just did not give my Sega Dreamcast an ounce of respect. Why
I
am
love
I?
the Dreamcast, but I don't have as many titles for that I'd go back and play right now.
Oh gosh,
I think as I do the NES right now. Don't get me
No.
wrong, the Dreamcast is an
Well,
amazing
the NES
console.
had
I love that console.
The NES had a much bigger library. I mean, that's like I would say the same thing about the Genesis and the SNES. You know, everyone's picking consoles.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I regret nothing.
And we're still not allowing DS. No handheld. No.
I want to have this. I want to have this conversation at some point about what constitutes a console versus what constitutes a handheld.
I think it's
when Nick
console.
said what console would you like to bring? Did he actually was the spirit of his question specifically referring to a box that you connect up to your TV and you sit down on the couch and play, or was he like what video game machine?
So the wording you should have used. Someone is hacking
This is our
Evercade.
Smurf conversation all over again. We're spending all this time interpreting the rules,
and I'm here for it. No, see, handhelds. So to me, it's like saying a laptop is a laptop, a desktop, right? Is a I have it. It's to me.
No, I'm just sitting here watching. I'm like, we'll get there eventually.
Hold on, let me spin myself into a hole here. So
thanks, Panda.
All right, but Panda's going exactly where I was headed.
It's still a console. It
hold
just fits
on,
in your hand.
hold on. What you should have said was, what gaming system would you bring on the road? Because then a system can encompass all, except general emulators.
Stand by my first choice.
See, yeah, library is good.
Yeah, that's a good one. And Mike, it's not that I don't see what you're saying, but it just that I'm with you, Rob. I'm with you. When Nick said console, I imagined that he was using that as an umbrella term for a video game system. I didn't picture him.
Oh no, I pictured. That's why the first thing I went to was the Xbox 360, because that is, to me, is a console. It's a
trying to get Mike's attention.
Yeah. Now, Mike, why don't you just wait on that, Mr.
Consoles.
Oh my goodness.
Consoles.
Scepter with the low blow.
We're just gonna make that
so hold on though.
While.
Hold on a second though. Hey
Games.
What's up, Games?
What's the FGMC?
Mike is getting his ass kicked yet again.
The
Nomad.
And the chat's in on it. That's what I love the most about it.
I know. Well, see, they know that over on NLG, I don't get to have these conversations about retro stuff. So they wait till I come over here to destroy me on retro. I disagree. A console. All right, look. Okay, hold on. Would you consider your flat screen television a console TV? Never. Do you? Is your
sins, sir?
Is your 20-inch monitor a console TV?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Is what? I'm sorry. I'm laughing at all the comments. I didn't hear a word you said.
Oh my goodness!
A console TV.
Yes. Okay. So Paste.
I just need to look at what a console actually is.
Hold on. Paste has my answer.
Really, I don't think he's with you though.
What you mean? This? In my opinion, handheld system is just a handheld console.
Nope.
That's there. He said it.
Nope. He did. But go up to the question he asked me. Go up a little bit in the chat.
He said, "Mike, are you smoking glue?"
Are you saying a console must hook up to a TV?
Correct. That is what I am saying.
Then the Evercade counts, and that's a handheld.
The
This counts, and it's a handheld. So where are we drawing the line?
This is gonna go down as the greatest episode of Retro. We're not even gonna get to the second.
Oh
second
my
topic.
god, we had other
This
good topics too.
It's not a handheld, right? Can
Because
we
Edward used console TV in the last 30 years.
everybody leave me alone?
Only Mike. Only Mike.
This is a console, okay? The console.
We're
does
aware of
not
what an
have-
Xbox 360 is. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Do you see a screen and buttons on it?
No, but they already make a Series S that has one.
You have to add the screen onto it, and you
They
still
made a
have to use
PlayStation 2 that had one built into it.
that. You still had to flip this. You had to add the screen to it.
No, they actually sold the PlayStation 2 one that had one that was just attached to it.
There was not a built-in. Sony did not build a PlayStation 2 that had a built-in screen, and you
How's it
still
going, Game Love?
hey Game Love, and you still had to plug a controller into it. That to me constitutes a console.
I can plug a controller into this. I
But
can plug a controller. I can plug a
I
controller into the
also-
Switch.
But I also said, but we also decided that an all-purpose emulator was different.
I can connect a controller to the Switch.
You certainly can while it's in docked mode, but once you remove
No.
the dock-
I can Wi-Fi or Bluetooth to a controller to it, even when it's in handheld mode, and still play it with the controller. I have done it.
Paste. Don't worry. I was waiting for Mike to finish getting that noose all wrapped around his neck, and then I was going to bring up the PSP. So
Ooh, the PSP. So
Sony actually gives you a way to hook that to the TV. This is not it. Here he comes. Exhibit C.
okay.
Do you see?
Mike is
What
going
do you
through a
got?
lot of mental
All right.
gymnastics
There is a
to be correct here.
there's a USB for charging.
Yeah.
There is a actually that's not for charging. I don't think that's just a USB for
Mike
connecting
doesn't know
like
how
That's the
PSP
yellow
works
connector
now.
for
yeah,
charging.
the yellow connectors for
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So hold on, there is the card slot.
Mhm.
I still have a card in it. Oh.
I think the comment wins the night.
Are you trying to go with that port there, the little whatever the hell port that is, where you need to get a specialized cable and you talking about that port?
The one that the Sony sells for the specific purpose of connecting to the TV, so you can plug the
Connecting it to the
PSP on
TV.
TV, like a console.
Okay,
I
so
like that one.
That's the one I'm referring to.
okay, so can I plug a controller into it?
The PSP is the controller.
Is the control? I see. It is the controller. I see. So that little thing that you had in your hand earlier, with the white stick and the two white buttons, is that a console?
In theory, yes.
I don't like where you're going with this, Mike.
Ah!
So
Aha!
that's
Hold
neither
on. I
here
wish.
nor
I
there.
wish. I wish.
Don't bring Mega Man into this and think you're gonna get me to your side. So
In theory, it
Look.
is. So is that big, gigantic Capcom arcade stick thing that
one
they
that's
sold
shaped
that
like
plugs in?
Capcom. Yeah.
Yes, that plugs into the TV. Technically, that is a console. Just has two built-in arcade sticks.
Where do you? Okay.
I wouldn't want to take it on the trip with me, but it technically counts as a console.
I'm dying on this hill. I'm just letting you know.
Mm-hmm. You're dead many times over. I mean,
I'm dying on this
like
hill.
that horse is dust, and we're still stomping on
Yeah,
it.
we're just kind of like rolling your body
To
around.
my wonderful friends in the chat, come at me.
They already have.
Fight
You
me,
failed,
bro.
sir. You have
No,
failed, sir.
I have not failed. I have. So, how then is this not a handheld? I mean, I'm holding it in my hand. I could plug it into a TV. I can plug a controller into it.
If you want to hold it in your hand and call
I'm
it
just
handheld
saying.
while you have a controller on top of it, you do you. You do you, boo.
Just saying.
I mean, Zombie's going with the Sega Saturn.
That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Panda just likes chaos. Don't let him
Yes,
bring into
Panda.
thinking he's on your side. He
Oh,
just
no.
wants chaos.
Oh no, he's not on my side because if I mentioned the word Game Pass, he would switch over to you in a heartbeat. And all of a sudden, I'm okay not fighting anymore.
Massa takes the round. Ding, ding, ding.
So Lance says, "Stay strong, brother Mike. Armor battle strong."
Okay. So
Now Scepter. All right, so Scepter says something that I have said ever since the Saturn came out.
see, go get him, Nick.
Grab that comment.
Which comment?
Because it's shaped
Here
like
we
a
go.
Genesis slot, isn't it?
It is, and actually,
those memory packs they're Genesis cartridge sized, right? I've never actually seen one.
You're about to. All right, so here is the cartridge slot on the top of the Saturn. Here is the cartridge. It looks an awful lot like a Genesis cartridge. Top of the slot looks an awful lot like a Genesis slot. So yeah, I don't know why they did not. Now, I only have the backup cart. What I do not have is the 4 meg card. Yeah, I've
seen a Saturn. I own a Saturn. I just don't have the expansion, those memory cards.
It is the one thing. It is the one thing that if Sega had done, if the Sega had done that, if Sega had done that with the Saturn, we would be in a completely different ball game right now. I would contend that
there's any number of things that Sega could have done that would have put us on a totally different trajectory than where we ended
agreed.
up on.
But this
because
is one
I've gone through enough of their history that I get angry every time I do a video on Saturn now.
I always pour one out
to where I can't finish the series by going to the Master System because I'm too angry from the other consoles I've reviewed. Because they kept shooting themselves in the foot so bad.
I know, but that would have been there would have been a great, that would have been backward compatibility to such a degree that it would have honestly saved Sega at that point. And it would have been worth $399, and Sony could have come out and said $299, and Sega could have said, well, that's fine, but you can bring your entire Genesis library with you.
Nick, can you do a poll in here?
I don't know how to do a poll.
Oh, like Omega was doing one the other night.
You have to, it's up in the 3 dots.
Hold on, I'll have to go to the stream and then pop out the chat to do it because I can't do it from here.
Don't make me go get my Saturn and bring it in here, and I'll hold it up like Mike did. But
well, they're enjoying the show and tell, so I mean that's a thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brother Axel.
Participants. It says manage moderators, participants, toggle timestamps, and send feedback.
You don't.
Here we go. Create a poll.
Yeah, create a poll.
All right.
What do handheld systems count in this discussion? Yes or no? Or if you want to just get to, is Mike wrong? Yes or no? And make it so that you and I can vote too, Nick.
You can vote just by having the. No, I can't. Oh my goodness.
Or handheld.
It says my question
is on a road trip.
Dang. I wanted to put something snarky in there and out of it. So hopefully that pops up here shortly, I think.
That's fine.
There it goes.
AK. Hey, Panda Sub. Do you want to be on RetroRoots going forward? Because this might be my last. This might be my my last episode.
So we let that go, and we can
All
come
right,
back
hang
to that
on,
a little
though.
later.
Hang on.
Hey,
No is
60%
not
says yes.
No is not that far behind. Come on.
67% says yes.
Oh, come on, guys. Help me out here. Axel, handhelds are not consoles. Come on, brother. You can't play Halo on a handheld, right? It's not a console.
Whatever you want to call
But see,
a road
that's
trip.
not what
I'm
the
not going into
question
those
is,
semantics. Whatever you want to call a road trip, call it a road trip. You have anything you need to be able to play whatever you want to play for however long you want to play. You want to make it 2 months, you want to make it like a day, that's fine. I'm going to leave it to like a day because if you're doing a 2-hour trip, you probably are not really going to play too much. %69% say yes, sir.
Come on, folks. Come on.
This is where Nick and I get to say, but you'll have to take our word for it.
I didn't know the chat.
Chat is not on your side, sir. Chat is not on your side, sir.
I love the chat, but they don't. It doesn't.
There are 16 votes, right, sir, and you're losing.
That is.
We only have 19 people in chat.
Come on, guys. There's
17 of 19 people have voted, and it's 65% yes.
Look, people watching later, you can mail your vote in, and we will count it until next.
You cannot.
If it is time stamped by the next RetroRoots. I
need to ban.
No one said the chat had to be right.
17 out of 19 people voted, and you have failed, sir.
No one said 65% of the chat had to be right either.
You know what? You're wrong, sir. Handhelds count. They have spoken. 18 votes. 67% say yes.
There you go. Mason's right.
Your odds are not getting better.
I have my vote.
Do they count?
You can have my vote. Whatever you want to vote for.
Okay. My wife says I can cast her vote. Handhelds count.
No. That's not cool. That's not cool.
You lose, sir. 67%.
Yes, thank you, Lance. Where are the Russian bots when you need them?
They would vote for handhelds too.
I think they would vote for. Never mind.
They would vote for porn, but still.
They'd vote for hand something.
So we're going to end this because we have 18 people in chat and 18 people have voted. Lose. They count.
I'm so disappointed in you guys.
Plus one my vote.
Right, exactly, right.
And her vote counts for like 3 because she's my wife.
I thought we were friends, chat. I thought we were friends.
You lose.
I like science. Were we not supposed to vote in that?
100% voter turnout.
And Panda.
Of course you did, Panda. Of course you did, Panda.
I voted no.
Wait, hold on. He said he voted. Yes, he voted no. Democracy in action. This is why the United States is a constitutional republic.
So yeah, it counts. It can have its 3DS. It counts. Okay.
Fine.
So we're gonna move on to topic 2, which we may be able to get in here.
Kick Nick out of the Gamers United Guild. I'll have my revenge.
Worth it. Sandra, put the welcome. You loser! Good day!
I don't want to play anymore. I said good day, sir.
So, what are the other topics to get most video game movies? Do you like them?
I don't
Are they
care.
bad? Only because you lost badly, I might add.
What video game movies do we like?
Do you like any of them? Are they just a guilty pleasure if you do like them, or do you think they're objectively good movies?
I would say that the first video game movie that I actually liked was Mortal Kombat. Not because that was a good movie. It was just before that we had Mario Brothers, a Double Dragon, which I never saw. Street Fighter the movie. That wasn't very good either.
I haven't seen that one. I haven't even seen the Mario
Raul
movie.
Julia is really good in it. But the rest is no. And they haven't really made too many of the movies that they've made since then.
They've done a couple. Tomb Raiders came out. Those were okay. Those were pretty fun.
Mortal
Kombat
and I don't mean the
favorite.
I don't mean the Jolie ones. I mean the latest Tomb Raider with the girl from Ex Machina.
I don't. Do we count? Here's where we end up in another gray area, and I blame Lance on this one. Do you count stuff like Pixels, or do you count stuff like Wreck-It Ralph? Because technically, Wreck-It Ralph is about video games, right? But it's not about a video game IP. It's original IP.
I would
Pixels
count it.
Uses other existing IPs to make a arguably mediocre video game movie.
I would count it because it has video games in it. Because it does have,
Silent Hill. I forgot about that one.
Pixels does.
And Scepter, this is kind of why I brought this
Hey,
up. Because Uncharted's coming out. Hey, Triple Lindy, how you doing, man? And Sandwich is saying Street Fighter's a guilty pleasure. I haven't seen that one. The Doom movie had some fun parts in it, but it was pretty bad. That one is hard to go back and watch.
However, I like that. I didn't know who Carl Urban was.
I think we're going to go allow both, Muzzin.
So I want to because
I love our chat. I love our chat. Let me start with I love our chat because they always take this topic in a weird, totally pear-shaped way when we think we have an innocent topic, and then it gets all. If we don't convolute and twist it, our chat does it for us, which is really funny. Pepper Tarb remembers too.
Yeah.
So I'm glad Mason asked that because there is a vast quality difference between the live action Street Fighter, which I admit parts of that are a guilty pleasure because it does have a pretty heavy cast, but the animated Street Fighter the movie was so much better.
So I got a question on that. So what about the Pokemon movies, not Detective Pikachu? Would you consider the Pokemon movies to be video game movies?
I would say so. The full length ones, because they are.
Yeah,
they are.
And those aren't bad.
The TV show.
And I'm normally not into the Pokemon show, but some of those movies have actually been good. I like Detective Pikachu. I thought it was a really good film.
I watched those movies with my kids, and I was like, "This is pretty good."
Yeah,
came out.
They're solid.
When Ash died.
They are solid.
And that brings in some of the Mortal Kombat animated movies that they've done recently, which I haven't got a chance to see. So those I'm told are pretty good as well.
Mortal Kombat is an interesting dichotomy because God,
I really want to include Last Starfighter because it does technically talk about a video game.
But it's a fake.
But it's a video game they made up for the movie.
It is a fake video game.
It's a fake video game.
But so is Wreck-It Ralph. So if we allow Wreck-It Ralph,
but it turns into real life. So it goes from playing a video game. The video game is just a test for the kid to become an actual real life. Then it turns into Star Wars, right? And that's a little actually kind of more turns into Battlestar Galactica without the
I was about to say, if you tell me you don't like that movie, I am removing you.
Oh, I love. I mean, because honestly,
I have to draw a line somewhere, sir.
No. That is one of my favorites. But then I also have to then ask about Tron, because Tron is a whole movie about being a video game.
I'm okay with Tron technically. I love Tron. Yeah. So I mean. I mean, if we were to go that route, we've had a lot of actually really good video game movies. If you want to include Last Starfighter and Tron,
I wouldn't.
I feel like I'm Mike in this discussion. I'm like, no, you said movies based on video games.
Well, no.
Okay.
So
Movie.
okay. So
Well,
set
then
the
you
set
said-
the
well, okay.
param-
So Tron had a video game, but did the video come out after the movie or before?
It came out
After.
during, and it was so. Again,
as a
here's the
result of the movie.
yeah. Here's the reason that I split Last Starfighter, and Tron out and include Tron is because Tron is literally a movie. The whole premise of the movie is being the video game. So in that case, I would also include Wreck-It Ralph, because Wreck-It Ralph also encompasses a bunch of games, and that at least encompasses real IP, which is why I would include Pixels. But The Last Starfighter, honestly, the video game was such a small part of the movie. The video game was a vessel for Centauri to find somebody to actually be a starfighter. So that's
Yes.
the video game is not the main focus of the movie. Whereas with Tron, with Pixels, with Wreck-It Ralph, those were the main part. That was the main piece of the story. So
Nice. I'm glad you got this game, love.
oh yeah.
Eating Pace brings up the Castlevania Netflix series, and I don't know if we want to include a cartoon series in this.
Yeah,
or just
I don't think
movies.
series.
I think that runs it up a little too big.
Yeah.
I love that animated series. I think it's good. I know a lot of people don't like the way the lore went in it, but I thought the animation and the art direction on everything like that was outstanding.
Yeah.
So
Triple's got
I
one.
really enjoyed it.
Warcraft wasn't horrible.
Yeah, it was mediocre and
It was
so forgettable, but it was fun.
Yeah, it was a CGI popcorn flick for sure.
Yeah.
So another one, Prince of Persia, which I actually liked, that had Jake Gyllenhaal in it.
I haven't seen that.
Forgot about that one.
They
made a video game off of that too.
Yes,
Just like
they did.
Richard Cartoon.
The Sands of Time. Right.
What happened to the Netflix series for Cuphead? I
No,
think
they-
it's
they
coming
made,
out soon.
So Sands of Time, I think, was the basis for the Jake Gyllenhaal movie. I think. I know
on,
that Sands Before Time came first.
Yeah,
and then
I think you're
they
right.
made a video game off of based on the Jake Gyllenhaal movie.
Yeah, hang on a second.
And we have Chuck in here. Hi, Chuck.
Chuck!
What's that, DJ Sting?
Well, the video game, you're right. The video game Sands of Time was based on the game, but it was called Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time, and I don't remember them making. So,
Oh, here's another one, Hitman.
Hitman.
That actually made
was
for a
good.
solid film. That wasn't bad. I like that.
That was a good one. Another one is, and it wasn't horrible, but I wish it could have been better, was Assassin's Creed, which had.
I never watched that one, but I was so out of that series that I didn't even really have any interest in it, even though it had a good lead actor.
It had a decent. Michael Fassbender was not horrible in it. It wasn't it was one of those, again, mediocre but not great. But going back to the Mortal Kombat movies for a minute, because Rob said something that I totally agree with.
Yes,
the first one. I know this is a mark this down because it's the last RetroRoots I'm going to be on. The first Mortal Kombat movie was very special.
We're going to bring you on. We need somebody to kick.
And I'll tell you what, I will never forget my first experience watching the original Mortal Kombat in the movie theater. Yeah. We went to see it in the theaters. And there are only a couple of times when I've been in a theater that the theater just completely erupts. And people are just going nuts and throwing like punches in the air while they're watching the movie. Mortal Kombat was that. And there were two specific points that I remember. Number one was towards the beginning when Sonya and Liu Kang and Johnny Cage are on the boat, right? And they run into Scorpion and Sub-Zero for the first time, right? And you get that first glint. Sub-Zero starts making a little, and Scorpion's little thing just pops out of his but doesn't shoot out. It just kind of pops out and goes.
That was a weird twist that I kind of liked for that character. I thought that was kind of a cool idea.
Yeah, and everybody in the theater started like cheering like nuts because of Scorpion. And then when the lightning came down and Raiden just like appeared, and it's Christopher Lambert, and he just says, "Enough."
It was amazing in that
The
role.
place went berserk. The whole theater went just berserk. And then everybody was like, I mean, I swear to God, people were just going to get in the aisles and spar just to have fun while Scorpion and Johnny Cage were fighting. I mean, which to me at the time was one of the best movie fights that I had seen in like a long time. That wasn't like an Eastern, Chinese kung fu flick. For an American movie to have that level of fighting in it was astounding. And so that movie was very special from that, and kind of wiped away the bad taste of Street Fighter. And then they decided to make a sequel.
And then they made Annihilation.
I didn't even see the Annihilation.
And Annihilation.
I saw Annihilation, and it was. I love the amount of cast they tried to put in there, but they really should have put the budget towards making a more cohesive movie than just trying to throw all the fatalities and animalities and all this other weird stuff in there that they didn't really need. Because animalities and babalities and all that stuff were basically just in there because that was Ed Boon and Tobias just having fun with the fact that they had kind of been the catalyst for the SRB rating.
Right.
Between them and Night Trap.
So Chuck says in the martial arts fights made that movie amazing. Too bad there were no fatalities, though. There was an attempted fatality. So at the end of the Johnny Cage Scorpion fight, Scorpion attempted to he ripped off his mask and he attempted to fire. He attempted to blow torch Johnny Cage. Johnny Cage just happened to grab a spear and then, and then sliced his head apart. So technically there was. The second movie, you're right. I mean, they just tried to slam everything in. And honestly, I don't know very many people that care that much about Shao Kahn. They just don't. And putting that up against as your antagonist for the second movie, and taking Sindel and putting an actress in there that had no fighting experience and no acting experience, if you really watch her, it just, and of course changing Sonya Blade because Bridget Nielsen did not want to do the second movie. So many things happened that kind of really made a mess of that thing. Of course, not just Bridget Nielsen, Christopher Lambert didn't want to do it. Mm-hmm. So they brought in, the hell is his name? James Reburn.
Yeah, James and he's a really good actor, but that was a god-awful role for him.
It was
a terrible role for him.
Especially when they cut his hair off and he tried to be New Raiden, and he couldn't fight. I mean, that's the other problem is these people couldn't fight. Robin Shao could fight. The guy that they had playing Sub-Zero and Reptile, his name is David. I used to watch him all the time in movies. Forgot what his name is, but he's a legit martial artist. Believe it or not,
Double Threat can't fight or act in a movie.
Believe it or not, Kerry. Hold on, I'm gonna butcher his name, so I'm gonna try to. Kerry Hiroyuki Tagawa could fight. Like he had some legit skill.
No, but most of the main characters in the first one, with the exception of Sonya Blade, had some martial arts experience.
Yeah,
and the guys that played Scorpion and Sub-Zero, like the guy who came in, he was just the guy who came in. I think they got the Scorpion spot. He said he came in with all sorts of weapons and stuff, and he ended up with him half bending over backwards, just weaving blades in front of the cast.
Yeah, Chris Cassiamassa.
Yeah, and he was just looking to be like Thug number 4 or whatever, and they're like, "So you're gonna be playing Scorpion?" And he's like, "What?"
Yeah. Yeah, Keith Cook was Reptile, and Keith Cook is like a legit, I didn't even realize that Lyndon Ashby, who played Johnny Cage, was also a legit martial artist. I didn't know that until later on.
Most of this cast, because they were calling for actual legit martial artists for a lot of the stuff, particularly a lot of the side fighters, because when they're doing all the posturing and all the pre-warm-up stuff, they wanted people that were actual martial artists to go through a lot of the katras, right? As they're warming up and getting ready to fight. And a lot of these people, they just threw them in against each other because they already knew how to fight. They already knew how to fight on screen. So they knew how to make it look like they actually took a decent hit without actually hurting each other.
Yes. Now, the obvious exceptions were Bridget Nielsen, which is why she only fought once, and it was really, let's be honest, it was clumsy. And of course, Christopher Lambert didn't fight at all.
No.
Which is interesting because not that he's a martial arts guy.
He did learn some sword play from the Highlander movies.
Exactly. He's got some skill from Highlander. So, Trevor Goddard, who played Kano, also did not have any fighting experience. So that's why that whole fight between Kano and Sonya Blade was really clumsy. That doesn't count, Lance. That doesn't count. But anyway,
to put a single address to MrMatthews, he refused for some reason.
No.
What?
So let me ask you guys about did you guys see the 2021 movie?
I didn't see it. My son did.
I did.
Okay. I need your opinions on this because I have a feeling we may not be on sync with this.
I'm of two minds on the new one, but go ahead.
So, and real quick, I just want to say, because I haven't been typing in it, but I've been following it. Can I just say, damn, our chat is awesome. Even though they hate me, they're awesome.
No, honestly, I've loved the way the chat has developed here because we have.
Yes.
I would argue that this is on par with NLG's chat, and NLG is a much bigger show.
And that's
but the chat here is so super active and so into the conversation that it makes it really fun.
It does, and honestly, I think this is growing into just as big a show. I think it will eventually. I mean, we get sometimes over 20 people. We really don't bust over 20 too much unless we bring Chuck on here. And then Chuck brings all his peeps. Yeah, but this honestly is a great chat, and
she was amazing.
It does remind me of NLG, and that's what I love about it. And a lot of the guys here come over to NLG, so there's a good, we can feel comfortable with this chat. So you guys are like a warm blanket.
So
can you put that poll back? Can you put that poll back up? Maybe it'll vote for me now.
No.
Damn.
No, you lost.
All
you
right.
lost.
All right, so
sucking up will not change that poll, sir. It is finished.
All right, give me your opinions.
So
give me your opinions on.
So the first Mortal Kombat movie is an absolute classic to me. I still go back and watch that movie when I see it on Netflix. I need to just buy a digital version of it. I just enjoy watching that movie. For all its flaws, I love the dynamic between the three main characters.
Real quick, I'm gonna go get some water. I haven't seen the movie, so you just keep talking.
Okay.
Okay.
Christopher Lambert is brilliant in that one. I thought he worked amazingly well. The new one had a lot of really good ideas and had some good sequences. Had they taken the tempo closer to the way they opened the movie with that big fight scene and had done more of that while explaining the tournament, I think it would have worked better. I'm hoping he gets a sequel. And the reason I hope it gets a sequel, because this seemed like the pre-fights before the tournament. This wasn't supposed to be the tournament. Everybody thought they were going to do the tournament in the first movie, myself included. But the more I watched it, the more I went, no, they were trying to set up to start the tournament, and this was them trying to end the tournament before it could ever get off the ground, so they could just invade Earth, right? So if you look at it from that standpoint, it's a better movie than it is if you look at it as a Mortal Kombat tournament. See what I'm saying? It's still a little slow and meandering for my taste.
Yeah, so I praise the fight scenes in it. The fights are really good. There are some of that story.
I hate the new character. I couldn't stand him at all.
Yeah, I couldn't stand how they made this story. I mean, all of a sudden, spoiler alert, folks, if you haven't seen it already, spoiler alert. Oh yeah, Lindy, if they get, oh man, I love Scott Adkins. So, and in fact, Lindy, I don't know if you know this, but Scott Adkins has a not to derail this a second, but Scott Adkins has a really good podcast he does, and where he brings on martial art movie stars and talks to them, and he's had some amazing people on. I could talk old martial art movies all day, but that's a whole other podcast. Anyway,
Sifter, my understanding is I think it did well enough to warrant a sequel. Yes, I think it actually did pretty good, and honestly, I think that is attributed partially when it came out, because we were just starting to come out of the pandemic and everybody was excited for any movie they could get their hands on. So certain movies did exceptionally well that I think might not have done exceptionally well if we had not been in the middle of that. Like the Suicide Squad, I don't think would have been received quite as well.
Or King Kong versus Godzilla.
Yeah, well, I liked King Kong. King Kong versus Godzilla is exactly what I wanted out of that movie. I won't say it's like a stellar movie. It's exactly what I wanted out of it, though. So I was happy with it. But then I wanted two big monsters to beat the crap out of each other for a long period of time on screen, and that's what I got. So,
yeah, the issue I had with the story, and again, cover your ears if you haven't seen it. I didn't like that there really wasn't. It wasn't about the tournament. It wasn't about the tournament at all. It was about, let's kill everybody before the tournament. That's not Mortal Kombat, and so I had a big problem there.
It kind of is Mortal Kombat.
But there's a tournament. The whole idea of Mortal Kombat was the tournament, and this bypassed the whole tournament so that they could just go fight each other, and so basically Sub-Zero could go.
Phoenix, thank you for popping in.
Could go kill everybody, so there is no tournament, and then Outworld could take over. And then there was this Harry Potter nonsense of a shield, right? And I just, there was the plot holes in that movie made it really tough. The fighting in the movie was pretty good. The end fight was stupid. I'm sorry, folks. The whole end fight was not great. When I got done watching, I was like, what did I just see?
Honestly, when it ended and they showed the Johnny Cage thing and they were talking about the tournament, that's when it all kind of clicked into place and made more sense. And the last fight that I remember was the Scorpion Sub-Zero fight thing, and I actually kind of liked that fight because it kind of let them finally duke it out on more of an even playing field kind of thing. I thought the very first fight was better. Can somebody in chat handle this?
I got it. I got it.
Thing.
Got it.
Thank you.
Caught it out of the corner of my eye.
Yeah, I didn't have I don't think I've got the chat up, so I couldn't.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was a troll first. So who in the chat?
Yeah, as soon as I saw it, I'm like, that's somebody that's been following her around, just giving her a hard time and being an ass, and they need to get out of here.
Yeah,
that's not okay, guys.
No, it's not.
Not to our main chat, but to that person in particular. Not okay. That's not.
No, it's not. Not our chat wouldn't do that. So by us saying it's not okay, they're not going to get offended too.
Yeah.
So we got we got you, Phoenix.
I thought the new Sonic movie was good. I loved how they went back and worked it. And I'm super excited for the sequel.
Yeah. All right, hold on. Rob might have a contrarian opinion here.
No, I honestly, because I've been trying to think of all these other video game movies like Rampage, and I was like, why did I forget about
not
this
see Rampage
movie? Because I actually really like that also, and I'm more excited than I should be about the sequel.
I am
Idris
too.
Elba as Knuckles. I was like, are you? Wow. However, Jim Carrey said he said he was going to be wearing a fat suit in the sequel, and he's not wearing a fat suit in the trailer. So
maybe that comes in later in the movie.
Maybe it does
because
he loses his hair at the end of the first movie at the very end.
Yeah.
So maybe he'll end up like that, but
yeah, and he comes in and he's got the stash in the beginning.
Like Robotnik.
Yeah.
So.
Well, there's been a lot of versions of Robotnik.
But
some
he's
have
always
been thin,
fat.
some have been fat, and There was like one out there that was muscular. It was weird. There's been a lot of random versions.
Yeah.
So
there was a Rampage movie. It starred The Rock.
It did.
It was forgettable. Like,
but it really didn't have any. I haven't watched it. I keep waiting
Yeah.
for it to pop up on Netflix again just to watch it. Just because I find Dwayne Johnson entertaining on screen, even if the movie's kind of junk, I usually find it kind of entertaining.
Like
only
Doom.
sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
only
Like Doom was
sometimes.
still
Only-
entertaining. It's not what I would never actually legitimately consider that a good movie, and they really butchered the lore. It's just the worst.
Yeah.
Okay, somebody already got that one because it's
Yep,
giving the
somebody got
option to
that one.
unhide. Okay.
Yep.
Let's see.
Nice job.
What up, my ninjas?
Phoenix.
I like the name.
Yeah.
Just-
Phoenix sharp shot it.
I like the name. I just don't like what you're saying. You're not going to harass Phoenix on here. She's
No, you're not.
she one of my bays. I
Of course,
love my Phoenix.
Phoenix also
She's a
has
sweetheart.
teenagers. I think this is probably small fry compared to what she normally puts up with.
Yeah, she gets a lot of crap for no good reason that I can tell.
You know
So
what? Why am I not? So let me also say, because you know what? Why am I not subscribed to her?
I don't know. She is a sweetheart. I love
you know
Phoenix to
what?
death. She's great.
Cause subscribed.
There you go.
Like, or as Coach Hines would say,
She
like
just broke 2K recently too. So
yes,
that's
she
dope.
did. So you know what?
Yeah, at least they got the name of the characters right. Yeah. So not a great movie on Rampage.
No,
Mario
it was
Brothers. I know some people stand by that one. I've not seen it.
I don't
I saw
know
the-
anybody
I-
that stands by Mario Brothers.
There are a couple of people that really like that film.
Really?
I saw the Double Dragon film, and that is a. It's so bad. It's almost entertaining.
I think with those movies, Mario Brothers, Double Dragon, and Street Fighter, the movies, I think the only positive thing that people can actually pull out of those movies is the performance of the main villains. I thought Dennis Hopper was really good as Koopa.
I mean,
Raul
you
Julia.
know,
That people actually say that is one of his better roles.
well, and
Sadly, it's one of his last role.
I know.
I still have not seen that movie. At some point, I need to find a copy of it and just watch it.
Have you seen him interviewed as to why he took that role? He did it for his kids.
Yeah, that's right. I think I did hear that he wanted to leave.
Yeah,
Something.
he got so sick during that filming and
Joysticks? No, since we're talking about that, what about the Wiz?
The Wizard.
Yeah, the Wizard.
The Wiz is the one with Michael Jackson.
Oh yeah, the Wiz is
I'm sorry, the Wizard, the one about the Nintendo tournament. That's a video game movie.
Ah, yeah. Well, would Game Over then be? Because remember Atari put out a documentary on. I mean,
I wasn't really going for like documentaries. I mean, because there's a whole series of like mini movies on Netflix.
Was it The Wizard a documentary?
Amazing.
Is it?
No.
Oh, I thought. Oh,
no,
never mind. I'm thinking of
no, that's the one with the little autistic kid. And they put him in like video game tournaments and stuff like that. The kid with the power glove and all that.
Gotcha.
Arguably not one of the best movies in the world, but it's still a video game movie because it's all about video games and his love of video games.
It's basically a commercial for the Nintendo in Mario Brothers 3. So
yeah, pretty much, and the power glove.
Gotcha. The thing about Double Dragon.
Joysticks is not a family-friendly title. Okay.
So here's the thing about Double Dragon and why the problem is I don't see it anymore. Like I can't find it to watch. But it had a good cast. And it did also have a martial artist as one of its protagonists. So Jimmy was played by Mark Dacascos. And if you are not familiar with Mark Dacascos, he was in movies like Enter the Strong. He was part of some of the kickboxer movies. And then later on, he actually played, he was actually the host of Iron Chef America, and then was on Hawaii Five-0 for a bit while that was on. But Mark Dacascos was a champion kickboxer and really, really good. I got that one.
Okay.
I got him.
I was about to say, I was about to do it, and then I was double checking to make sure it
Oh,
wasn't going to
Pace got
unhide
him.
them.
Pace got him.
Thank you, Paste.
Pace timed him out. I slapped him down.
You guys are dope on this, by the way. I love my mods.
So, and it had Robert Patrick as the protagonist or the antagonist. So it was,
When you put somebody out on the channel, when you hide them, it immediately deletes their messages.
Yeah. Trying to think what
Every
other
time I begged my parents for a Power Glove, instant regret on first play. Yeah, I think many people felt that way. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think you're alone in that, sir.
You know what else?
Honestly, The Wizard wasn't that bad of a movie.
I remember enjoying The Wizard as a kid. I haven't tried to go back and watch it though.
I bought it recently. I watched it with the kids, and it's okay. I mean, it's as good as any of the made for kid dramas back then.
So I'm going to bring up some that we haven't really talked about, and I'm surprised we didn't. You did kind of mention. Did you not like the Angelina Jolie Tomb Raiders?
I like them.
I love those. Maybe
but
not.
I would watch those just to see her in those suits. Well,
that's
such an easy sell to me. Particularly even now she's crazy attractive, but back then it was just like, oh my god.
All right, so I'm going to bring up some we didn't talk about. We didn't talk about the Resident Evil.
Ready Player One's amazing, but I don't really know.
I don't consider that that's more.
I mean, it's about video games, but you're not talking about a video game IP, even though it has a bunch of video game IP references.
But you know what?
I don't know where to go with that one.
You know what, though?
I like that movie.
You know what, though? To be fair, if we include Tron and Wreck-It Ralph, I think we have to include Ready Player One.
Yeah, and I like Ready Player One. I think it's a good film. I mean, it plays a bit over the top with the nostalgia to distract you from major plot holes, but I still like it. It's fun.
So when I said like Last Starfighter wouldn't count, I would also not count like the new Jumanji movies, because even though they got sucked into a video game and they were kind of sort of video game characters, it was kind of real life.
Yeah, I didn't bring that one up because of that reason, because it was originally built around a board game that became a video game to lure people. It's just trying to lure people. It's like a sentient object kind of thing. Yeah. So I don't know that I really
like Last Starfighter. So.
Yeah, so I'm with you on that one. I understand that.
So where are you guys on the Resident Evil movies? With
I like a lot of those. I feel like they went a little too far, but then it's Resident Evil, and Resident Evil's a franchise kind of goes way too far. So it's fine.
Mark this down as the second time that I have agreed with Rob in a show.
The main problem I had, the immediate problem I had with Resident Evil is it may be corny. It may be full. It may not make any sense, but there is an actual story in the Resident Evil games. Do that. There are actual characters in the Resident Evil game. Use those characters. Don't make up some new character an entire movie's worth of new characters to make a movie that has nothing to do with the game that it shares the title with. Resident Evil 2, it kind of brought that back a little bit. At least Jill Valentine was in the second movie.
That
second movie kind of took place.
That actress didn't
during
have
the events of Resident Evil 2 and
a lot of acting skill, but she looked really good in the part.
Oh yeah.
The first movie I called bullshit on hardcore.
I can see that. Overall I enjoyed the movies. Do I think do we need to put a short criterion? We need to wrap this up in a little bit because I got a meeting at 1:00 in the morning, and I should spend some time with my wife. And we might come back to this one because I feel like we've got a lot more we can explore on this.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'm going to rapid fire a couple to you guys, and you tell me yes or no. Ready? Blood Rain.
I haven't seen it, but that's a U-Bowl movie, isn't it?
I didn't see because it was an U-Bowl movie, and it looked like the worst movie ever created.
Okay. All right.
Ube Bowl. Sorry.
Yes, Ube Bowl. All right. Now this is one I really did like. Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within.
I like that one. It's not very representative of any of the Final Fantasy stories, but it does tell a very Final Fantasy-like story.
Yes, that's why
Advent Children, I think, was a much better representation of a Final Fantasy story.
Yep. All right, here's one, and I can't believe I forgot about it. Freddie Prinze Jr., Matthew Lillard, Saffron Burrows, Wing Commander.
Never saw that one.
Never saw it? That one. It's somewhat of a guilty pleasure movie for me. It's horrible.
Mark Hamill was in Wing Commander.
Mark Hamill was in a lot of the Wing Commanders. He was in most of the. He was in a lot of the video games.
No, but he was.
Yeah.
That's my question was he wasn't in the Wing Commander movie.
No, he was not. It was so it was Freddie Prinze Jr., Matthew Lillard were the two main characters. David Warner was Admiral Tolwyn. So David Warner from Tron.
See, I'm kind of with Hasselhoff this. It doesn't feel like a Final Fantasy movie, but the next one that they did felt very much like a Final Fantasy movie, and I think that was the Advent Children one.
Okay,
I mean, they're both good movies. I like them both. One feels more like a Final Fantasy movie, and Lance brings up Free Guy, and I loved Free Guy. And
I don't know,
but that's not necessarily talking about an existing IP that kind of did its own thing. It's still talking about video games and focused around video games, and I really enjoyed it.
I'll give you one more that nobody liked, but damn it, I'll watch it because the fights and the girls are nice. Dead or Alive.
I haven't seen that one.
It was a good one.
I need to find it. I didn't even know that was a movie for the longest time. And all of a sudden I'm like, wait,
Devin
what?
Oki, Sarah Carter, Holly.
There's one more you missed that I know of.
Street Fighter: Legend of Chun-Li.
That's right. I
didn't like that.
I was thinking of, but that's right.
All right,
Dead Island. It's another.
Was there a Dead Island movie?
Is it Uwe or Uwe?
I think it's Uwe Boyle.
Okay. Well,
he was cashing in on a lot of those, but nobody watched them.
I think he has 3 video game movies: Blood Rain, Dead Island, and I don't think
anybody mentioned.
I don't think I've watched. There were 2 House of the Dead movies. There was an Alone in the Dark movie. There was a Tekken movie that came out in 2010, and there was a King of Fighters movie that came out in 2010.
Huh.
And King of Fighters had Maggie Q in it, and Ray Park, who you guys know who Ray Park is, right?
Darth Maul.
Nick, yeah, Darth Maul.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When you said
Ray
Darth
Park,
Maul, the name of the actor I don't remember, but I do know he played Toad in X-Men, and he played Darth Maul.
But he is also
he's also a very good martial artist.
He is a master kung fu. He's a kung fu master.
Ooh.
Well, yes, Mortal Kombat
is doing retro games. That'll be awesome.
So, well, now that I'm subbed, I will see them. So those are the ones that I had forgotten about, but they're out there.
And there's also at least one, probably more animated Resident Evil movies that actually were they're okay. At least the one that I saw.
There's a few Mortal Kombat ones that looked like they were pretty good too that I keep wanting to check out.
There appears to also be a Far Cry movie I did not know about.
Far Cry could work easily as a movie because it's almost movie. It's probably
that must be the other one I was thinking of.
I was about to say Far Cry would easily, any of those stories I feel like easily works as a movie, almost easier than almost any of the other IPs because it's just a guy that gets stuck on an island. I mean, it gets weird later, but I mean, like even Far Cry 5, as much as I don't like that game, it would work really good as a movie. I mean, it would be a really good movie if they just took that and made it a movie.
Yeah. So, In the Name of the King, a Dungeon Siege tale is the other one on this list I looked at.
Later, Hasselhoff. Thanks for hanging in as long as you did, man.
Yeah, and I will be checking out joysticks.
Yeah, so many games would work as a movie in modern gaming. Because most of them are movies anyway. That's why when they're like, hey, we're going to make Halo a TV series, I'm like, okay. I mean, if you've got a good budget to make it look right, then yeah, absolutely. Why not, right?
Oh, this is the consummate 80s movie. Joysticks, it's the consummate 80s movie. It even has a consummate 80s movie cover to it here.
See, when he said it wasn't family friendly, I'm like,
it's not.
Is that porn?
Oh no, it's not. It's rated R. When a local top businessman and his 2 bumbling nephews try to shut down the town's only video arcade employees and patrons fight back.
That sounds very 80s.
I'm just gonna put this in the chat and let you guys see what the. I don't know if you want to put it on screen.
Oh, that's right. There's
I like the Ratchet and Clank.
Oh yeah, there was Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty good.
I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. Kid Chameleon movie could be fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Hold on, I gotta pull this up.
So what?
Wow. Yeah,
Don't
this
share
is.
it. Yeah, don't share
Oh,
What
it.
does
no,
everyone
I'm not
think
gonna
about
share
the
it, but
Uncharted movie coming out, though?
What is it?
pretty soon. I want to say March.
No, what does everyone think about it?
Oh,
About what movie?
I'm of two
The Uncharted
minds.
Wait
I
a minute.
like
Say
the
one more time.
idea. It looks like they're doing a lot of the scenes from the games,
Mhm.
which seems really cool. And I love Tom Holland. I just don't know if I
Oh,
see
the
him as
Uncharted.
Drake.
No, and in fact, ever
Yeah.
since they made a fan movie where Nathan Fillion
Mhm.
was, that's the only
It's
person
spot
that I could.
on. That's
Yeah.
that's the thing. If he was perfect.
He was absolutely perfect.
See, my problem is Nathan Fillion has gotten so old at this point that it would be hard to make him one physically look the part, and it'd be hard for him to do a lot of the stuff they need him to do in the film, right?
The weird thing is that, and then they, what's his
I
character's
mean,
name?
he's
Sully.
only
Like
2
Mark
years older
Wahlberg
than
as
me.
Mark Wahlberg is a weird cast as Sully. He doesn't look like Sully to me.
Yeah,
It's almost like he would be better as Nathan Drake than the character he's playing.
Almost.
Like
Yeah, a
it's
little bit. Yeah.
but I mean, Nathan Fillion is only 50 years old. He is not that old. He's only 2 years older than me.
Nathan
very
Fillion?
young.
Yeah,
I mean,
Honestly,
he can still
how
pull
old
some
is
roles, but I mean, I
Jackman?
think
You
they're
don't need to
aiming to like
be-
make this like a trilogy, though, right?
they might be, and I think they're also going for an origin story.
and
Yeah,
they
it sounds
are,
like it's
because
like
I saw a recent
Sully
trailer.
met.
Yeah, it really does look like the first time that Sully met Nathan
Yeah.
Drake and kind of pulls him in. So I think they wanted him looking younger. I mean, Tom Holland's kind of a weird. It's
Yeah.
always strange to me because he's at least in his mid-20s, if not his late 20s, but he looks like he's in his teens to me still.
Yeah, he's
I
25.
know he's not,
He's
but
25.
he still looks like he's in his teens.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I'm
he
like
was
you,
in a
Nick. I
bunch of
really
stuff.
like Tom Holland. I don't know. I don't expect to like him here. He just
Yeah.
doesn't seem right.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's my biggest problem with it is it's not Tom Holland. It's not how he's reading the lines on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't. For some reason, I just don't get Nathan Drake. I keep wanting to say I see Spider-Man, but then when I see Spider-Man, I just
Yeah.
kind of see Tom Holland because it's really all I've really seen him in. Because I don't have another comparison, right? Most of what I've seen, I think all of what I've seen of Tom Holland has been from the Spider-Man films. I don't think I've seen him in anything else. He may have done a couple of things, I just haven't seen him yet. So I have such a small window of comparison that everything looks and feels like Spider-Man when I see him on screen.
Yeah,
which is not fair to him.
No, because he's been in other things. But he was in other things that you don't know.
He is getting a little oversaturated, and he's been in a lot of voice acting stuff. He was in Onward, and he was in a couple of other things. Yeah.
Which I liked. I liked that movie.
No, he's done a lot of good voice acting stuff, but Hollywood freaking loves him right now. And a lot of the actors that he's worked with in the Marvel movies have brought him into other movies because they like Tom, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of why he's getting oversaturated. He's an energetic kid that's hard not to like. He's got really good charisma.
No, he does.
And he's got a good stage presence.
He does a really good American accent.
Yeah. Like most people from like Australia and Britain.
Yes. So to answer, so people are still not sure that Mark Wahlberg played a Max Payne
Night Phoenix.
Here's the crazy thing. I could actually see Mark Wahlberg as Max Payne, but that was such a poorly written movie that it never had a chance to develop into anything. But he looked the part to me. Like
I agree. No, I get where you're going with it, and I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks he very easily looks like that kind of grizzled, worn out, burnout detective look.
Yeah.
It's easy to kind of put him into. The only other person I could think of that you really could have put into that, had they wanted to do that when Bruce Willis was like in his prime, like right after like the first Die Hard or two, I easily could have seen him in there.
Yeah.
because he had that same look, right?
Yeah.
He has that sort of like every guy look that would just be like, fine, we're gonna do this. You're gonna get hurt now. And Bruce Willis made a good career out of playing a lot of that role for a long time. So it would have been a natural extension of a lot of what he was doing.
And he could have pulled off the voicing of it too, because there's a lot of times when Bruce Willis would have that gritty voice that he would, that you kind of need. I think a big issue too with Max Payne was they tried to make it like Sin City, right? Like they had all this.
A GTA movie would be easy to do.
Oh yeah.
You easily could do Vice City. You could do GTA 4, which I thought had kind of a bunch of interesting characters. So yeah, I could see that. I could easily see that.
Yeah. So,
I never saw the voice actor for Max Payne. Couldn't really speak to that.
I've seen him on camera once when Remedy did a 20th anniversary. Excuse me. He's voiced by James McCaffrey, and he did when they had their either 20th or 25th. It was their 20th anniversary last year, and James McCaffrey did a video with Sam Lake, because Sam Lake, as you know, Sam Lake's face is in the game. So Sam Lake was like the mocap for his.
That's what Game Love was saying.
Yeah. That guy. So he's not just an employee at Remedy. Sam Lake is the head of Remedy. So, but James McCaffrey was the voice of Max Payne.
So I think at this point we might actually revisit this one, because this one actually turned out to be a much cooler discussion than I thought. But we really should kind of wrap this up for the night.
Yeah,
we've been going for almost 2 hours. We need to get some sleep. I have a maintenance window in a little bit, and Rob has all the time in the world because he's an hour behind all of us.
Oh, I have to really quickly.
I think it was on Saturn and PlayStation 1.
What?
There was a Fifth Element game.
I remember that. You're right.
I want to say it was multiplayer, but I know it was at least on.
Which one, Max Payne?
It was
on Control.
It was on PlayStation and Windows.
Windows.
Yeah, it was not on. It was not on Saturn.
Which game are we talking about?
The Fifth Element.
Oh, Fifth Element. I didn't even know it had.
Made by Activision and Callisto Entertainment.
So no talk about the Dig Dug Cabinet. No, sir.
No, because we don't have one.
He's talking about the arcade machine I had back there that afternoon. Yeah. He's honestly, Chuck likes to make fun of it, but I feel like it actually really does bug him, and I kind of like it. It's kind of my way of poking. Poking him every now and then just to bug him. So, any last thoughts, guys? What do you got going on your channel this week? What's hopping? What's going on? What do you got on?
Go ahead, Rob.
I will be appearing in lots of chat rooms during this week. So, if you're streaming, I'm probably coming in to say something snarky.
Probably, or yell at me because I don't read chat enough and Mega Man X3.
You see, I'm not yelling. Yelling to be all caps. I'm like,
you have literally yelled. You've been all caps. Nick, read chat.
That's true. You don't read the chat. You're like, oh, how do I do this? As like,
and I will look at the chat, but I get very narrow focus when I get upset. It's just my fault.
Yeah, you can come into our chat on Thursday night and remind me to play Metroid Other M.
Okay. We need to set up some boss. Hey, play Other M. Hey, play Other M. Just call it Samus Aran, Metroid, Other M. Mike doesn't play Metroid.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I'll be a lot more passive aggressive about it. Like, so Mike, how are you enjoying Other M?
Him.
It's
That
almost
title
done?
screen. That title screen is awesome.
What about that M-rated game you should play?
Oh my goodness.
So I may have another Evercade video out. I don't know if my core crowd's really digging on those. But I'm going to try to get one out on the Data East collection this week if I can finish wrapping it up. I realized I have no game audio on a couple of the games, so I might go back and grab some more footage on those just to be consistent throughout the filming. It doesn't really need it. I'm just being nitpicky at this point. So there's that. I don't know if I'll have an update on Earthworm Jim. I want to do the next game mechanics, and Panda gave me a couple ideas for things to do, both stream-wise and channel-wise, that I might want to start exploring. So I'm probably going to start looking into those. So that's all I have. Mike, I know you have the NLG show.
That's on Thursday, but before that, maybe on Wednesday, maybe Tuesday night late, I'm going to be streaming Sifu, the new PS5 game that
I kind of want to pick that up, and I'm kind of leery on that one. I don't know.
So
it's got a very roguelike feel.
It is, but
it.
that roguelike feel is the aging mechanic that is supposed to be really, really cool in this game. So as you die, you grow older. Which is
and your health pool goes down, but you get more powerful.
Right. So I'm interested in it. It was $40. Figure, what the heck. Thursday night we're gonna I'm not sure yet what all. I mean, it's been kind of a slow news week from the new systems, but we are going to talk about the stuff going on at Intellivision and their new crowd, their new funding campaign that they put out. We want to.
Yeah, I didn't bring anything up about that here or the changeover here.
That's okay. It's news. So
yeah, a lot of that crowd isn't really. Well, some of the people here in the chat are kind of curious about it, and some people are very much.
Well, we also have a very different.
So
we also have a very different audience, because we're a little more buttoned up as far as that goes. And there are people that are in our gaming family that in our chat that are interested in the system and have pre-ordered it and stuff. So, these are things that we're and I'm not, we're not doing what John's doing with Amico After Dark, where that's all we're focusing on. But there's obviously, it's obviously big news. It's obviously something we have to talk about. We're gonna talk about parts of the campaign, and it's just what we do. We talk about video games. It's just video game related. It's
totally
Microsoft,
legit to talk about.
Yeah, Microsoft and Sony haven't bought anybody this week, so
give them time. It's early. Yeah. It's on the Monday.
So, and we're gonna talk. I'll talk about Sifu a little bit. I'm trying to think what else we're going to do on Thursday. I mean, it's kind of a light week after all the stuff going on.
Yeah,
so.
I do want to start doing stuff like Sifu and some newer games on the channel.
And then
it would be a nice change of pace from all the retro.
Yep, and then Friday night we have started a weekly live stream Friday night with Peter and Mike. That's HTK 360 and myself. We pick something co-op, and we just finished Rainbow Six Vegas 2. So now we have to find something. We might go back to Wolfenstein Youngblood because we haven't beat that yet. But when Gran Turismo 7 comes out in March, we're going to be doing that together. So, but we're going to figure out what we're going to do this Friday. That's what's going on with me. And I'm going to be cutting this pipe in after the show.
Get your green screen.
To get my green screen going. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, I pretty much covered everything I have going on. Rob, I think you pretty much just said you're going to be in streams until you get your next video out.
Are you finishing X3 tomorrow?
Probably. I don't know if I'll finish it, but I'm at least going to pound my head against the stage for a while.
You'll finish it.
I'll finish it eventually. It just probably won't be tomorrow. I got pretty close to the end of that stage after I looked at it.
There are no more stages left. So basically, after this stage that you've been cursing at, there's just the transporter room and then Sigma. So
okay, so the transporter room where you got to fight everybody again and then Sigma. Okay. All right. Well, won't be too bad. Well, I say that now. It'll probably be terrible tomorrow. I haven't had any chance to practice that either because I was trying really, really hard to make sure I was ready for today. And then it happened. So.
Mason wants to know what your next stream is, Rob.
You hold your breath,
Doesn't-
and I
he
will
doesn't-
try to get there before you pass out.
He doesn't stream.
Wow.
That's where it went. So since he doesn't stream, sometimes not practicing helps, and sometimes it just makes me miserable. I'll be honest, after. So yeah, if you guys are gonna have to let me know because I as much as I like seeing new people come to the channel, I want to make sure my core audience is kind of enjoying stuff too. So if you guys aren't really digging the Evercade stuff, let me know. It's something I'm experimenting with, and honestly, it's been a fun little system. It ticks all the little collector boxes, which is weird because I'm normally not like a collector guy. But these are inexpensive and cheap and readily available. And, they don't cost me $1,000 per game. So, having fun with it for now. We'll see how well it does. How well you guys like it. Some of you guys haven't. We're going to call this a night, I think. We've gone a little over 2 hours. There's still 15 people in chat. Yep, there's that new trailer, and then there's the investment. So there's actually stuff to talk about on Wednesday, which is fantastic. I know Chuck's really excited for Amigo Forever on Wednesday because we have been in an information drought on the console for a while as they have been frantically working on trying to get it to go. So if you're going to catch Amigo Forever, this Wednesday is a good one to catch. There may not be as many Amigo sightings as you might want, but it should be a very good show.
Fellow member of the Gamers United Guild.
Yes.
So you know it's gonna be a good, positive, fun show.
Yep. And DJC's a great guy. He's another great channel. His link is in the description because all the ones that I had, I need to get the new ones because there's a couple links I don't have now. I gotta get a new one and add it in there.
It's all in the Discord.
I know. I gotta update my thing and put it in there is what I gotta do. So that we have everybody in there.
And if you want, I have if you want, there's a shorter bumper too that people can use. So
Okay. Yeah, we need to work on that offline. But we're gonna go ahead and end this here. Thank you guys very, very much for watching. Have a great rest of your week. I will see some of you tomorrow as I break my skull on Mega Man X3 again for another evening. I have a little bit of skull intact. We need to fix that. Very important. Need consistency. And Mike has his show on Thursday, and Rob will have stuff out whenever he has stuff out. Yeah. It's always worth the wait when he brings it out because it's always amazing stuff.
He is the id software of putting out content. When you ask him when's your next video going to come out, his answer is when it's done.
Hey, it's better than like Panda or Rab's Timetable. Rab's Timetable.
Yes.
It will take me 5 years, and you will have a cinematic movie.
You
will have a 2-hour movie.
I will have grown several times in Sifu for real before Rab brings out his next.
Yeah, it's like a 2-hour thing he's working on, though. It's insane.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're going to go ahead and call it. Have a nice night. Love all you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. Happy gaming.
Play on, gamers.
Later on.